All right, we'll get started. Hey, Keith. So, Mr. Brown. Frank is on. Frank and Danny are going to start us off. Joe's on. Joe's working on that apartment building. We'll go ahead and get started because this will be a quick one. Danny and I actually have a meeting we had a meeting in Elsinore, and we have another meeting this afternoon in Riverside. And I had a meeting with Frank's client this morning. So that was good. It's exciting. 3 meetings today. Danny, do me a favor, because you're working on the Elsinore one where we met today. You're working on the Riverside one that we're going to go meet him this afternoon. Then you also have that Anaheim Hills. I'm going to try to reach that son to see if we can get him to sell, because I might have a buyer for the house. So, and if not, we'll do the loan. So his son is on my list to call. Danny, go ahead. If you could unmute yourself. Let's talk about the appointments you have. Hey, Mr. Smith, let's talk about the appointments you have today and how those deals are going. Don't forget you got to unmute, Danny. There you go.
Hey, Robert. Oh, yeah, for a second, I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know if my connection kind
Don't
of
worry about it.
dropped for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Hey, everyone. Happy Monday. So pretty much, the one that we went to today, that one, we're working on, it's an NOD. So I went to the house. It's been maybe about 5 or 6 times already. I just had to build rapport from the first time that I went. And luckily on the first knock, I was able to get a hold of the homeowner. It was it was a fresh lead I had pulled that day too, so I just went to go knock on it. I had a lot of leads that day in that area nearby, and that was one that just happened to open the door from the other ones that didn't. And so I would say, yeah, it was just work of timing on this one. But just the situation with him was a little different. So he has an agreement already with some other seller that just kind of is, from what it seems, is taking advantage of them. Now he kind of told me the whole story and then the situation on how they need to move out. But they agreed to work with me now and Robert. So right now I just been working on helping them to get a cancellation with those people, because the guy that came to the house to sign the agreement with the homeowner, I think he went there maybe like 2 times, and then that's when he signed the second time. Because just quick backstory with this guy, he would just recently had his leg amputated, so he's in a wheelchair, and he's got pretty bad diabetes as well. But yeah, just it seems like, I mean, like they're taking advantage maybe of how he is in his situation and sometimes his mind space. So right now we're just working on that cancellation, or I'm working on that cancellation, since they are realtors. So since I'm not a realtor, I luckily I can do that for us. So Robert obviously doesn't get in trouble. But so yeah, with this one, we're just working on that. We have a buyer that's already looking to buy it as well, allowing them to stay there versus having to leave the property, because they were going to be leaving by November 4th, and they weren't going to get money up until after they left. So they would have no money to move. So we're just working on that one with this person. And then the one from Riverside, that one, this guy, he's also an NOD, but he just on that one, it was saying on the retrend that he was going to be going to auction pretty soon. So we called up title at the house. Was it title, Robert, that we called?
Was that the Riverside one?
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
Riverside one.
Riverside. We called the title company to check the liens, and also found out he had those city liens for about $1,000.
Yep. And then yeah, he pretty much told us on the phone on speaker that it should be going to auction anytime soon. He should be getting a notice on the door.
Yep.
So just giving him the information that he wasn't aware of and he hadn't been receiving to his house. It seems like he's on board with working with us. So yeah, we're just gonna meet with him again today, just to make sure he's on board, and then just also run some numbers with him, so we can keep him along on our side.
Exactly. And then the last one, so that I think we have 2 deals there, Lake Elsinore and Riverside, and then we have the third one that's a loan. And real quick, Lake Elsinore, how many times have you been to that house?
That one's been about 5 or 6 times.
So one of the things I was talking to Sophia today, and I was telling her, make sure you guys door knock like an area that's not too far from your house, because a lot of times you're gonna have to go back 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, easily. I have a ton of deals I've been to 3, 4, or 5 times, and if you just go once, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So, because really it's the follow up that sets us apart. When we go back, we talk to the people, they feel comfortable. Because this guy's already dealt with 2 other realtors, but they want to go with us, and they're more comfortable with Danny because he's been there. And so I went for the first time today and met with them for about 10 minutes. But tell them what the son said, Danny, when we offered him our proposal.
Yeah, he said he's on board with it. It's him and I think it's his girlfriend that are
And
living there in the house with the dad, and they're on board. The other girl, she sent me a long message too, saying that they're just trying to get the dad to meet with us because of his situation. I mean, he's just constantly in and out of doctor's appointments just to get his
so,
leg taken care of and then his health. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then the last one, Anaheim Hills, and then we'll go to Frank. How'd you get that one, and how's it going?
So that one, I wasn't able to reach the guy. It was in a pretty, I guess, more higher end area, a lot of gates on the properties, and I don't think he had a mailbox right there. Yeah, I just left pretty much my card and a note on the gate, and then I just left the card on the door or on the car that was parked in the driveway. And yeah, sure enough, he just gave me a call. I didn't answer the first time, didn't recognize that area code from out here. So yeah, he called me again, and then that one I actually had picked up, and then that's how I was able to talk with this guy. We set up the time to meet with him, and Robert and I had an appointment with him out by his house, and we spoke with him. Got the loan started on a second appointment when he agreed to come down to the office with his son, and that's one we're just working on just to get the documents that we need just to complete the loan and everything, just to move that one along.
Very good, very good. How many houses a week are you going to, would you say, Danny?
I've been doing about 30, maybe 40 on a good week.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, good job. Let's keep it up, Danny. You and I will talk after the meeting so we can meet at that house in Riverside, okay?
All right. Yep. Sounds good, Robert.
Perfect. Great job. Frank is on. Frank had a meeting today. Lady in Chino Hills called us. Well, I'll let Frank tell the story, and then we have another meeting tomorrow. Frank, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Been busy. Been an exciting morning. Yeah. So with Debbie, it's been kind of interesting. We actually initially met with her about a few months back. We had a conference meeting with her. She was just recently had lost a family member, and they were going through a lot, especially with the foreclosure. So they during that time they did not want to work with us. We had a couple of good options for them, but she had spoken to the bank, and the bank promised her that, hey, we're going to be able to refinance you. We're going to be able to help you with this modification. That basically that they were going to take care of everything for her. And Robert and I, we just told her, say, hey, listen up. This is what all those banks do. They tell this to all of their clients, but they deny like 90% of the applications. It's only that lucky few 10% that they actually do. It's like we see this all the time. It's always at the week of the auction, the week of the foreclosure, where the bank ends up saying, oh, sorry, this came up, this happened, you're denied. And these people end up losing their homes. So this is exactly what happened with Debbie. She ended up giving us a call, and we just worked our schedules around, and we ended up meeting with her today, and she's open to selling.
Exactly. And how much does she own her house?
Oh, it was not a lot.
It's like
I think it was
250, 250
yeah, like
total with the
250.
first and the
Yeah.
second. And the house is worth 750, you guys. So she called Frank in a panic because the auction is Wednesday. It's just like
Yeah.
Frank said, they denied the
And
modification Friday night.
she kept telling us, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, guys. You guys were right. They bank did exactly what you guys told me they were
Mhm.
gonna do. I should have listened to you guys. I should have gone with you guys a few months back.
So Frank, imagine if she loses that house. She owes 250, it's worth 750. So right now, we called the bank. I have to send the bank a proof of funds for 400,000. I have to send them a purchase contract and an estimate from escrow. I have the estimate. I have the proof of funds. I'm going to type up the contract and see if they'll push the date back. It's not for sure.
Hmm.
We have a buyer for it, but if the bank doesn't push the date back, it's too late. Our auction is Wednesday at 1 o'clock at the Chino courthouse. So we'll see what happens. But of
Yeah.
course, she called Frank in a panic this morning because she didn't listen to us 3 months ago.
Yeah,
So
and I
that's
think
what
what
happened.
one of the favorite things I think what Robert said this morning, and it just kind of stuck with me. He was told her that because she was getting really emotional. Obviously, there's a lot going on. but he told her like, hey, this is not the time to get emotional. This is the time to try to solve these problems. And then with that was able to help her like calm down so that she could think rationally about
Yeah,
what's really going on and the severity of the situation.
exactly. Because they call us panicking, and I don't want to say I don't feel sorry for them, but it's like we told you 3 months ago this was going to happen, and now you call us in a panic crying. So I was door knocking with Tanya, and I told Tanya, I said, we're not the ones in foreclosure, so I'm never stressed about it. So she was getting all emotional. I said, no, the days of crying are over. Today we're going to solve the problem. So she came to the office. I got the paperwork. We called the bank. She gave me the authority to talk to Rushmore, and hopefully we can get the date pushed back because we have a buyer. She's open to selling and staying there. So we'll see what happens. So good job on that one, Frank. I mean, like I said, we told her 3 months ago, she called. What about the Rialto one? How'd you get that one? Tell them about that one.
That one's just straight up door knocking. Just like Danny, I hit a minimum of 30 doors a week.
A
Like that's
minimum.
my minimum. That's my minimum.
Okay.
Saturdays I always end up hitting them heavy. I always try to do like 15 to 20 doors minimum on a Saturday. Because Saturday on throughout Monday through Friday, it just kind of depending on the commute, depends on traffic, what my work schedule looks like. It can only get to maybe like a minimum of 5. But with Rialto, it was literally my last door.
What
I
did
had
she
punched
say?
in.
What did she say when she opened the door?
She's like, oh, it's just a typical like, oh no, I'm okay right now. We're taking care of things. And so I would just, I don't like to take the no for an answer, especially the first no. So I
Mhm.
just kind of like, oh, what is it that you're currently doing? Oh, well, we're
Exactly.
talking to the bank. And well, how long have you been talking to them? Oh, it's been a couple of months now. And it's like, and why haven't they done anything yet? Your auction's coming up already. And she's like, well, they've been kind of dropping the ball. So I just kind of like with that rapport that I was just kind of like talking to her, I made her feel comfortable about it. So I told him like, well, my partner and I, we can potentially help you save your home. Is that something that you'd be interested in? She's like, yeah, but I want to save it, but then I want to get rid of to sell it, because, it's too much house. It's just my son and I now. I've been going in and out of the hospital. I've been having some stuff going on with my legs. She's like, so it's right now I just want to get rid of the house. And I was like, well, if you want to sell the home, we can help you do that even quicker. She goes,
Exactly.
really? Yeah. She was like, yeah, we can definitely do that. And she's like, okay, perfect. When can we meet? So I called Robert while I'm there on the doorstep and we set that appointment for tomorrow at noon.
So that's good. And she owes, Frank, you sent me the link. She owes like how much? 107, 170?
Yeah. So she currently owes, she was able to get back. She owes 107 actually, and she's only behind like 7,500.
And what is the house worth? What did Zillow and Redfin say?
The house is putting it at 445 right now.
Perfect. So she's got 300,000 in equity and she's open to selling. So, okay, that's good. That's awesome. So hopefully we'll get her. So we're going to meet with her maybe about 12:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, about 12:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, because I have an 11 and then we'll meet there. So that's great. Keep up the good work. I'll speak for Constance. Constance has a loan in Mission Viejo, house worth about 2.5 million. We're going to do a loan at about 1.3. She's got family in town, but we talked to this guy 2 or 3 months ago too. And then he went dark on us. And sure enough, he texted me on Friday and said, hey, Robert, I'm ready to get started right now. So, and that happens. And I called his business. So I called him today, called his cell phone. He didn't answer, called his business that he was running and their phone is off. So I know what happened. Something happened with the business. The business is suffering. So now he needs a loan. So that's what happens. A lot of times these people don't, they'll call you back after a couple months. So that definitely happens. So a couple things. Everybody, one of the things that Frank and Danny said was they're getting to a minimum of 30. So use that as a minimum. Don't say, well, let me try to get to 30 this week. If I only get to 20, 30 is their minimum. So if you're getting to 30 or more, you're getting appointments. So keep that in mind because there's a ton of leads out there. We can't even get to everybody. We don't have to worry about overlapping because there's so many foreclosures, whether it's Northern Cal with Mr. Brown and Jessica, or San Diego with Gianni and Johnny. There's so many foreclosures. I mean, we got probably, I would say, 10 people door knocking the IE, maybe more, and we still aren't getting to even 1/10 of the foreclosures. So keep that in mind, you guys. I know back east there's a ton of foreclosures. In Boston, I know in Texas there's a ton of foreclosures. So there's not that many people doing it. So keep that in mind. So let's talk about schedules. I know I'm door knocking with Tanya this week. Tanya, do me a favor this week and next week. What do you think your schedule is going to look like in terms of door knocking? If you could unmute, and then I'm going to go to Sophia next. Hey, Tanya.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I definitely want to commit to doing at least 3 to 4 times a week. So as long as we pre-plan it in advance, then I can work it around my schedule and my other businesses that I have.
Exactly. And
So
that's
I'll make
key.
it happen for sure.
Okay, good. And I usually pull all my leads one day. Like I might pull all my leads on Monday or Tuesday for the entire week. So that way, because you'll get busy on like Wednesday, Thursday, you might not have time to pull. So if you pull all your leads, then you have them ready. And I just have mine on the clipboard. I'll put a post-it on the ones for Monday, and it'll just say Monday. And then after that, go down about 10 more and it'll say Wednesday on a clipboard. That's it. Pen and clipboard, and use Route for Me that Frank told us about, or you can use those other, ways. But I use Route for Me because then it puts them in order so you get to them faster. So Route, you guys, and then the number 4, and then me. So great job, Tanya. Sophia, if you could do me a favor and unmute, and let's talk about your schedule this week. Hey, Sophia, how are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good. So what days do you think you're going to door knock this week, and what times?
So after we spoke today, I was kind of looking at my schedule. I'm shooting for Wednesday, since tomorrow I have to work pretty much most of the day through the evening.
I remember you telling me that.
Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday.
Okay, so you probably want to go to at least 10. So that way in those 3 days you get to your 30. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. And then definitely once you schedule that door knocking, I don't let anything else come in between. So I have Tanya tomorrow. It's on my phone. 2:00, Tanya pull leads, 3:00 door knock. So it's already on my calendar because most of you guys are like me and are super busy. So make sure you etch it in stone. Mr. Brown is going to kill Sacramento. I think he's on still. Keith, what's your typical schedule going to be like for the rest of the year? And then in January, what's a sample schedule going to be?
I just put a piece of candy in my mouth.
Good. That means you didn't need that candy.
So I'm going to start part-time this weekend, hitting a minimum of 30 doors, but it'll be on Saturday and Sunday.
Perfect.
And then in January, I'll start 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'll pull all my leads during the week.
Okay, that's smart.
Starting on Friday afternoon, all day Sunday, and I'm sorry, Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. I'll try to keep up with the minimum of 30. And I've been in contact and Zooming with Jessica Tootle, who's out there, and also Harv Gilchrist. So we've been getting each other ready. So we're ready.
Okay, that's good. And I like how you're gonna pull the leads earlier in the week. So on the weekend, you're ready.
Yeah,
that's what I do. I just pull my leads one day, maybe 2 days, so I have them ready for like the next 2 weeks. So that's smart. So you and Harv are gonna do Sacramento. Jessica's gonna do more of Vallejo area.
Correct.
Ton of foreclosures in Vallejo, that whole area.
Yeah.
And you're seeing a lot in Sacramento too, right?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna start Elk Grove up to Sacramento. Harv's gonna do Sacramento and up. So
let me ask you this. Does Elk Grove have a pretty good amount of foreclosures?
Oh, yeah.
Are you serious?
Definitely. Yeah. Elk Grove and South Sacramento. And then I have Galt and Lodi right next to me.
I know Lodi. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. That's interesting. That's good. And I don't think, obviously, I think there's not as much competition for foreclosures up there. Do you hear about a lot of people door knocking foreclosures or no?
No, but I think I've been to a couple where you've seen some flyers on their door, but they're not focused on foreclosure assistance. It's all new loans or refi, like that. I'm going just all in just foreclosures.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Good job. So definitely we'll have you report. Let us know how it's going. Okay. That's good. Joe, if you could unmute, talk about the apartment, and then talk about your schedule for this week, next week. I think Joe Montoya is on. He's got to unmute though. Yeah. Hey, Joe. Hey, sir. How are you?
What's up, sir? I'm good.
That's good. Okay. So what's going on with the apartment? And what's your schedule? What cities this week?
Calling for the apartments. I do that in the morning from like 7 to 11. where I have to go to physical therapy, and then I start door knocking at 3. So
3. And what days do you think you're going out this week?
every day the rest of the week.
Perfect. Let me ask you a question. And what cities are you going to do? And then I have an objection I want you to overcome. What cities are you doing this week?
Tomorrow I'm gonna do like LA area because I'm physical therapy is in LA. So I'm gonna just after I do physical therapy, I'm gonna just hit up the houses in LA.
Okay, good. If someone said to you that they were working with someone else at the door, what would you say to them?
I'll say, oh, that's great. I want you to continue to work with those folks if they're helping you. What we want to provide you is just several other options that, maybe will benefit you and your family. And if we just want to meet with you for 10 minutes, if you feel like what we have is going to benefit your family, by all means, work with us. If not, just continue to please working with those people that you're already working with.
Awesome.
If
Great
they're happy.
job. Yep. And just be natural. Because you know what I say, Joe, the worst thing that can happen is what? They say no.
Yep.
So there's no pressure at all. Tanya and I door knocked, and we talked to several people. We had one guy that Danny had actually talked to. I want Danny to go back to him. That's the one in Norco. And he was like, no, and just slammed the door. I was like, oh, well, he's probably just miserable. I made up a scenario. His wife probably left him, his cable's off, and he just lost his job. So I didn't take it personal. But that happens. I just go to the next one,
Yes,
it's just
sir.
numbers.
The
So that happens, definitely.
The general rule for me is when they say no, it's not that they're saying no, N-O, they're saying they don't know, K-N-O-W. They just need more information to make an intelligent decision.
Exactly. That's great. Let me know how that goes, LA. Let me know how the apartment's going in Mississippi, okay?
Yes, sir.
Great job. Danny, if somebody says they're working with an attorney, what would you say to them?
I'll tell them, hey, that's great that you're working with an attorney. But I'm sure they're already charging you guys more money up front that you guys don't need to be charged while working with somebody like us, where we're not going to have that solution to charge you right away. We're going to give you some options. That way you can get some money in return, whether you want to sell your home or if you want to do a loan, we can help you keep the home, but we do not need an attorney, which is only going to cost you more money up front.
Exactly. And I tell them, Danny, a lot of the attorneys are crooks. We have somebody that works in my office, unfortunately, that lost her house because she thought because she had an attorney that was going to stop it. An attorney ended up taking money from her. So a lot of attorneys are crooks. That's our competition. But people think when they have an attorney, they're safe. They don't know. So that's good. Great job. Do you want to add anything else, or was that it, Danny?
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like the loan that we're doing in Anaheim Hills, how they have an attorney and they're just trying to see how much money they can get from doing the loan, and then also pulling some money afterwards so they can pay this attorney back, because I think they owed him like it was like more than
over
10,000.
Yeah, wasn't it over 10,000? How much was it?
I think it was like closer to 50.
Yeah, because the attorney's been pushing the day back. That's crazy. Yeah, I knew that. So when we do a loan for them, Keith, they want us to pull out some extra money so they can pay off the attorney, but we might have to bring them out of foreclosure first, let them make a payment or two, and then do a loan where they could, because the house is worth 1.7 all day, and he only owes like 400,000 on his house. So we could pull out a ton of money. That's not a problem. But we got to bring them out of foreclosure first. So that's good. But Danny, I like what you said when you said, I'm sure those attorneys are charging you. Our services are free. So, because people want to hear that. And plus, and they'll say, well, how are you guys working for free? We just tell them the bank or the investor will pay us. You don't have to pay us. So that's a great comeback.
Yep.
Let's see, Frank, what would you say if somebody says they are filing bankruptcy?
I would tell them that it's probably not the best thing to do. I said bankruptcy is only going to just kick the can down the road. Like, it doesn't make the foreclosure go away. It just pushes it down, like, on a different date. And if you're ever late or if you ever miss a payment, then you're back to square one and with worse credit.
Exactly. So that's good. Yeah. Because a lot of people, they file bankruptcy and then they're late on a payment to the trustee and they lose the house anyway. And now they got a foreclosure and a bankruptcy on their credit. So it's like a double negative. So last one, Lisa. I think my sister Lisa was on. I did see her. I don't know if she's still on. Because one of the ones we hear is that, hey, Lisa, how you doing, sis? So we hear, I just don't care. you hear me okay? You got me? Uh-oh, we're losing you.
No, hold on. I'm gonna go downstairs because my
Okay.
thing is getting.
Okay, go ahead. We'll take your
bottom
time.
down.
Well, I'll
Hold
give you
on.
time to get down there because I'm gonna have you address the one about when you just don't care. Because that's one, and that's usually because of people going through a
Is this better?
divorce or something like that. So do you have me loud and clear, Lisa? I think she does. We'll give her a minute. So Danny and I, maybe in the next hour, hour and a half, are gonna meet in Riverside,
Oh, there we go.
which is Keith Brown's old stomping grounds. UC Riverside graduate. That area has been a gold mine, Keith. I wish you were down here. Yeah, Riverside is, because it's a larger city. It's probably the largest city, I think, in the Inland Empire. I'm pretty sure. That Ontario, Rancho's close, but it's bigger than Corona. So there's a ton of foreclosures. Riverside and Moreno Valley are a gold mine, Keith. People could just door knock those two cities and be good. So, which is crazy. All right, Lisa, can you hear me clear?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
question for you. Yep, I got you. So one of the things we hear is it'll be, a man or a lady, and they'll say, oh, I just don't care because they're going through a divorce. They're distraught. Not only are they going through a divorce, but they took time off from work because of their divorce. What would you say to some lady, or it might be some man? It could be a man. His wife might have left him for her high school sweetheart. What would you say if he's just like, I just don't care anymore. I don't care about this house. What could we say to get him to work with us?
I could tell him that there's a possibility that he have a come up. If it's in a home, we could get you some equity. You don't have to tell your spouse about it.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's what
Because
I would say.
Go ahead. Say it again.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's
Okay.
what I would say.
Yeah, and a lot of times they don't want to talk to the spouse. You'd be surprised how many times they don't want the spouse to get any money. They'll walk away from $50,000 to $100,000 just so the spouse doesn't get any money. I've told them, I said, well, I'll have the spouse sign it over and you get all the money. And then I'll have the spouse sign it, but then I just won't ever record it. So they don't find out that their ex-spouse got money. So, but a lot of times you're going to have people who are just, they're like, I don't care. My life is in shambles. I'm just going to it's just too much. I'm just going to let it go. So be ready for that. Be ready to tell them, I get that you're going through a tough time, but don't walk away from this money. If you've got to move with some money. Don't move out of this house and get nothing. So definitely appeal to whatever it is. So what was I going to ask you? That was one thing. What's another one we hear at the door? Lisa, I know you made a lot of calls. Is there something else you heard over the phone that we haven't addressed? Talked about the lawyer. We talked about BK.
A lot of people a lot of people say that they've already got it handled.
Okay.
Or they're working with somebody already.
Yep.
They don't need any help. It's been taken care of. It's a lie. I'm not really in foreclosure anymore. What else do I hear all the time?
If somebody said to you, it's already taken care of, what's the first comeback you would say?
Oh, that's fine, but I'm just here to give you another option. I'd like to offer you an option. It's free of service.
Yep.
We don't charge anything. And a lot of times people don't believe it's free. They want to know what's the catch. There's always a catch.
Yep. Because everybody else is charging and we're not.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I'm like, well, usually I'll ask, are you working with a lawyer? How much are they charging you? They don't really want to say what they're being charged, or they don't even want to admit that they're being charged.
Exactly.
But for a fact they're being charged. So there's no, but then they try and get around it and lie and say, oh no, I'm not. Oh, like one guy that I talked to, oh, my friend, he had a lawyer friend or a realtor friend or something who was helping him through some purchase to buy, I don't know, some weird scam or something. But anywho, it's a lot. Those are the basic ones that I hear most of the time. Of the time.
Got it. And there was one other, let's see, just don't care, work with someone, BK, lawyer. Those are the most common ones. And so the main thing is to keep the conversation going if you can. Sometimes you're going to have guys like that guy Tanya and I talked to who just close the door. We don't worry about that. Just go to the next one. Don't take it personal. So Travis and Nicole, is there anything that you have heard that we haven't, something at the door that we haven't said today? That's all I have for today, because I know you guys are busy. If you could unmute Travis or Nicole, is there anything else that we missed? Don't forget you gotta unmute. I thought they were there, maybe not. Those are the only ones that those are the most common ones. Don't care, lawyer, BK, if they talk at all. So I don't know. I think I may have lost Travis and Nicole, but because they said they were having Wi-Fi issues. So definitely, hopefully we'll have some deals to report on next week. Mr. Brown, you guys are starting the door knock weekends in October, November. When are you guys starting?
This weekend.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let us know next week. Let us know how it goes. All right. I don't want to be the only one to get doors slammed on me. But at least you didn't have Tanya there. You know what Tanya said to me, Keith? She said, wow, you really struck out on that one, didn't you? Cold-blooded.
Okay.
And
Let
I've
me
known her
just
for
chime in on
years.
this though, Robert. Let
Say
me
it
just chime
again.
in for a second because I've gone door knocking with Robert 2 times already, and he is got the gift of gab. Okay, so what I've really noticed in working with him, it's not so much about a script, it's about being personable with the clients and helping them bring their guard down. So he's bringing up like, oh, what kind of dogs, or what's your dog's name? Oh, I like your Halloween decorations. Oh, where did your son go to school? Like it's all about just trying to engage with them so that they don't feel like so defensive, and he's helping them get their guard down so that they will open up about their experience and what's happening. So when I saw the guy shut the door on his face, I was like, I wasn't expecting it because he has been so amazing at being able to get everybody to get their guard down. And that was the first time I had seen someone shut the door on our face. And I was like, oh, I was just messing around. But I was like, oh, he struck out on that one.
Stuck out on
But I
that one,
mean,
didn't you?
but I realized it happens to everybody. So
Mhm.
even the best of the best is going to get their door slammed in the face. And
Yep.
I needed to see that. So when I get the door slammed on my face, when I'm out on my own, I don't want to feel defeated. I need to know that it's going to happen to every one of us. We're
Yep.
all going to get those objections thrown at us. We're all going to get people that are going to tell us they've already handled it or don't care to talk to us about it, you know? So that was important for me to see that.
Yep, no, it happens. And the crazy thing, Keith, is that Danny had talked to that gentleman and he was like nice to Dan. Like he sat there and talked for a couple minutes to Danny. I'm like, I don't know what it is. He didn't like me. So, but that happens. I just go on to the next one. And that's the key. I don't take it personal and you know what? We could go back to him, Tanya, in a week and he might have a different, because he might have just got off the phone with like his divorce attorney. You know what I mean? So who knows?
And one of the things that you said to me, because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that just happened. You're like, look, you need to just realize like they need our help more than we need to help them. So if they don't want our help, there's nothing we can do about that.
Yep, that's true.
They're the ones that are in foreclosure, not us. So
not us. So that's good. And sometimes, Tanya, those people will call back. The lady that Frank and I are working with, she called us back after 3 months and 2 days before the auction. So we're trying to stop her foreclosure. Literally after the Zoom, I have to send this paperwork into her. So you never know what could happen. People will call back. That happens. So Haley closed a couple deals like that where people called her back after, like a month. So, all right, well, good job, you guys. We're going to be reporting next week on the doors you hit. And hopefully we get some more appointments. I got another one today, another one tomorrow with Frank. So have a great week. Let me know if you guys need anything, okay? All right.
bye. Thanks,
Thank
Robert.
you.
Take care. I'll send the Zoom to everybody. Take care, you guys. See you, sis. See you, Sil. See you, Stace. All right. Bye-bye.